Hello, my most amazing artists. We are going to finish our beautiful birch tree project today. Here's how it's done. Last week, we did our background paper. We're gonna brush off all the salt so that we don't have any salt left on here. And then you're gonna get back the paper that you made for your snow. Remember that we added a pearl or silver to our snow to make it a little bit iridescent and give it a shine. So our first step after we brush off snow is we're gonna make the horizon line right here. Our horizon line, it's a winter blanket of snow. It's not gonna be perfectly flat. I'm gonna flip this paper over so it's not on the shiny side. And I'm gonna make my snow almost this tall. And I'm gonna make a wavy line, kind of like when we did our Grantwood landscapes, only a little bit more waves because I have snow. And then this is going to be a line that I cut. Sarah just had scissors. Here we go. So I'm doing this on the back so my pencil lines don't ever show on the front. And then you're going to make your horizon line by cutting. There's my snow. You're going to decide what side of your paper you like it on. I'm going to put mine here on over the purple. You may decide that you don't like this side, so you want to put your paper here. It's up to you. It is your paper. I like it covering the purple because I like to be able to see a little of the purple and then the blue and the blue-green. I'm going to put down dots on my paper so that it sticks down. Remember, dots, not lots. And then I'm going to put it right at the bottom. So there is my snow. Now, the next part of their birch trees. You're going to get another piece of paper today to do your birch trees. If you notice, my birch trees are not perfectly straight. The trunks are not straight. In fact, this one curves. Your trunk should not be straight either because birch trees look like this. These are real birch trees, and if you notice, this one is pretty straight up and down. But look at this guy. This guy grows this way and then takes a turn right here and then goes up the other way. This guy too right here, he started growing this way and then decided he was going to go that way. Your birch trees today, they're not going to be wavy lines, but they're going to be gentle lines, gentle curves. You're going to get a piece of paper. It's as tall as your paper. Let me move this. And then we're going to make some trees. So when I do this, I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to draw the shape of my trees. The trees are larger at the bottom than they are at the top. So keep that in mind. They're not going to come to a point, but they're going to be large because they're all going off the page. But they're going to be larger at the bottom than they are at the top. So I got a little bit thinner. Now, here's a cool thing. I've got this line right here. That's going to be my next tree. So I'm going to start going this way this time. And now, so this is the bottom of a tree, and this is the bottom of the tree. There's another one. And another one. And then I think I'll finish this one out. So this would be the bottom right here. Oh, that's going to be too much. There we go. So now I am going to cut this and cut. And cut. And these are my trees. This one's really crooked. That guy's going to add a lot of character to my piece. And then cut once more. Okay, then the little end pieces were trash. I'm going to flip these over so I can't see any of the pencil lines. Your pencil lines are going to be on the back. Pencil lines on the back. And these are my birch trees. Now, if you look at one, you're like, oh, I don't like the shape of that. Trim it a little bit. Like, I think this guy's a little bit too wide at the top, so I'm going to trim him down a little bit. All right. From here, we're going to create the black lines on the trees. Our black lines, if you notice, they start at the edges. Some are little dots in the middle. but they are varying widths, they're varying lengths, they're different wide and they're different long. So I'm going to make my birch tree lines. I can use the top of my marker, I can use the side of my marker. If you lay down your marker, it will get you a very thick line. If you use the tip, it will be a very thin line. Some of these have little like shapes, almost like beans on them. All right, so you're gonna do this to all your trees. I'm gonna speed up the video as I do this. There are my trees. From here, we're gonna glue them down onto our paper. My ones on here are not all lined up at the bottom. They are varying heights on this snow. So that's what I'm gonna do again. Take my trees, lay them down, decide where I want them. The trees don't grow perfectly straight up in the air either. So some of them you may have at an angle like this instead of going perfectly straight. If you look, some of them bend in towards each other, so that's what I'm going to do. This guy is going diagonal, so I'm going to make these not all perfectly straight on my page. It's okay if they go off the edge, I'll show you why. So this guy I'm going to put going right towards the bottom. He goes off the edge of the paper. That's okay, I'm going to trim it off when I get done. Actually, I want to turn him slightly. This guy I'm going to make go up like this and then over. Same thing. And since I'm not putting them on all the page, I'm not putting glue all the way down either. This guy is going to point that way. This one is going to go this way. And then, last but not least, is this guy. And he's gonna go, where's he gonna go? He may go like that. Okay, so once I have it this far, we got some glue down here. See these guys up top? They're hanging off the page. We don't want them hanging off the page. I'm gonna take my paper. This is the easiest way to see it. I'm gonna trim so they're no longer here. There we go. And then I'm going to make sure that they stick down, so I'm going to put a dot of glue towards the top of each of them because I don't want them to come off the page. Here we go. Here we go. There. Okay. Next part, we're going to create shadow on these. This will be the last part. We're going to do shadow. So we have to imagine that the light is coming from this angle. This is actually perfect. You see my fingers right here? And then you see the shadow. So the trunk of the tree would be casting a shadow going this way if the light were hitting it. Same thing with this one. Our shadows are going to go behind trees, not in front of them. When we do this, our shadows are only as wide as our tree trunk and go off the page. They're all going to go at the same angle because the sun is shining from the same angle this way. Same angle, same angle, same angle. So I'm going to imagine the sun is shining and then use my paintbrush to make a shadow. When this dries, it's going to look like the sun was shining and there's a shadow. Now this one's really close to the bottom, but the shadow is going to be going the exact same way. I'm going to fill it in. This shadow is going the exact same way. So this one's going to come down and down. It's going to be as wide as the tree, no wider. no shorter. All right, here we go. This way. And I've got to kind of stop and think about it. You will too. So we're going to create lines using the purple paint that is just as wide as our tree. See how I start each one on each edge of the tree and then put the shadow going down. And that goes really quickly. When you are done with the shadows today, you are done with the project, and we're going to put it on the drying rack to dry. The painting stations today have the paint for the shadows, and when you are at that point, you can go over to a painting station if one is open. If not, you're just going to form a line by the sink and wait. I hope you guys like doing this. I know it's a lot of steps. I'm going to put them up on the board though for you too. Here we go.